Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
And I tell you guys I love you. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I will ride with this group until they don't let us play anymore games.
All right. Welcome in to a live edition of Purple Daily here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. And joint practices are a great place to start on that journey to a Super Bowl. You can connect the dots from joint practices through the preseason, regular season, and straight up to the top of the mountain. At least that's how I'm choosing to treat the importance of today. Judd, you and I are both out there observing, opining, making notes. We'll do a little joint Judd and Phil's camp notes here, presented by our friends at TCL, which has award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. And TCL makes more than just TVs, too. They offer mobile products, audio devices, and home appliances. TCL brings you joy and simplicity through innovative technology. Surly brings you joy as well through its Before I Die lager. Uh-oh.
Judd, let's unmute yourself before we get too far into the Surly read.
Yeah.
Wait, did he? There he is.
Oh, thank you. I thought you had done it, and that's why I thought it came off. I didn't look. My fault. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. That was my fault. Technical glitch, technical error. I was just asking you. I was actually, when I was muted, saying, can you show that beautiful can of Before I Die? Because that's, you know what? That's the mission, whether you're by the pool or you are watching the joint practice between the Titans and Vikings. It doesn't matter. The mission is Before I Die, and the beer is from Surly. It's going to be available again this season, by the way, in the third deck of U.S. Bank Stadium starting on Saturday for the preseason game. Before I Die, one of many delicious beers from our friends at Surly. I am partial many times to the Furious, but there are a lot of good options, and Before I Die is the one that speaks to all of us, and that's why Phil and I were taking joint notes today at TCL.
Yes, we were. I would say, too, the luminaries were out today. I mean, we were just trying to make a list of, Alex Boone was there, our guy. And, yes, he is coming back for some film reviews every single week here, starting probably in probably 2 weeks, I would guess.
Yeah.
And we're trying to work schedule-wise so that, because last year with all the stuff he was launching an offensive line training business, and the only time he could record was literally at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So we are carving time for him to join the actual full show, or as much of it as possible every week. So we'll have Booney was in the house at practice. Tom Pelissero, co-founder of 1500ESPN.com back in the day with us, was there. Diana Rossini, now of The Athletic.
Oh, wow.
Left ESPN.
Diana was there.
I didn't.
Why wasn't I alerted about that?
He would have come out, and I didn't know. And I was like,
you would have made it weird, dude.
She was standing right
by
by
it weird. She's a married woman. I have a great Italian fiance of my own. Okay, I'm doing just fine. I wouldn't have made it weird.
Italian. Why'd you go to the store and pick her up at the? I got to tell you, my Italian fiance.
My Italian fiance. That'd be a great reality show. I feel like. Let's see, 40% of the Twins starting rotation was there. Bailey Ober and Sonny Gray were there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Carl Eller, Chuck Foreman, former legendary Vikings.
Just to be clear, 40% of the regular season Twins rotation was there, because the playoff rotation, at least to start with in the first round series, only had one member of it there.
I would say 33% of the playoff rotation, and then the long guy.
I heard, didn't Doogie say that was it Sonny, not Sonny and Bradbury, but there was a connection between Bradbury and one of the starting pitchers that was there. And then there was a video or picture, at least, of Sonny. It looks like he could throw a pretty good football. I mean, not too surprising.
Did he throw? Did he throw a football?
Apparently, Doogie had some photos on his Twitter page of at least stills.
He didn't share that with us.
What the heck?
The whole channel, all of our friends from 5 Eyewitness News were there. The whole crew was there. I'm sure I'm missing some luminaries, but there were several there in attendance today. It was a big day, Vikings-Titans group practice.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Dex, I think you're right. Bailey Ober and Garrett Bradbury might have been high school classmates.
There it is. Okay. Yeah, something like that.
Yep, high school connection.
Cool. Very cool.
Nice. Look at that. So you come here, you think you're going to get a football breakdown, and we'll give you that, but we really give you the red carpet breakdown of Vikings practice today. So, Judd, I'll throw it to you first, and we can kind of kick it around here. But what was your biggest, most noteworthy observation from today's second joint practice?
unfortunately, it was injuries to the secondary, and in particular the cornerbacks, in the one-on-one drills between Vikings cornerbacks and safeties. And the Titans, Mekhi Blackmon suffered what appears to be a left shoulder injury of some sort. Now he left the practice, but he stayed on the field, and they have like this makeshift 3-sided sort of padded booth, but it's not a tent. So he went and sat on the table there. And so I snuck around to see what I could see. And they were working on his left shoulder. Now, he walked around a couple times, looked like he was in pain. But what's interesting was he stayed on the field after that with no helmet. And at some point then later in the practice during team drills, walked off the field and went for treatment, went for an X-ray, an MRI, not quite sure. But it looked like his left arm was sort of just hanging there, which is not a good sign. And so that's one thing. And then at the end of practice in a team drill, which was, I think, one play, I think each of the first and second offense for each team got one play from like the 17-yard line with the game basically done, like 3 seconds left. And Caleb Evans went to break up a play and took a pretty hard hit. Got up, you could tell he was a little bit off, was going to stay in. Kevin O'Connell rushed in and took him out. And so hopefully it has nothing to do with the head, which was my first thought, because, you know, if you don't know, he had 3 concussions during the course of last season. He's sort of learned to re-tackle, and I think he's actually employing a different helmet. But nonetheless, it's football, and goal line collisions are going to happen. And so I'm not going to be surprised if he misses a little bit of time, if there's any concern there. But it definitely looks like Mekhi Blackmon, who, you know, would have played on Saturday, I don't think he's going to play. And we'll have to find out next time O'Connell talks what the status on his shoulder is. There's no question. I think the Vikings will probably be making some phone calls, working the phones a bit, because the cornerback depth was not exactly great. And they've got cornerbacks there, but are they guys that you trust? So my guess is that they'll definitely have to do something here to bring in more depth if Blackmon especially is going to be out for any period of time. For the time being, Juwan Williams will take his place. I don't know if that's the long-term solution, and I don't know if there's anyone behind him who they're going to trust fully. So Mekhi Blackmon being hurt would actually be a fairly significant deal.
Yeah, God, you're just kind of waiting for, you know, this stuff happens, and you're just, every team in the NFL is just looking to dodge, you know, the injury landmines during these. Like you have to get the work in, but you don't want guys to get hurt. You can't just like roll into the regular season week 1 without ramping up and doing the joint practices or preseason games. You got to put your body on the line to some extent.
Yep.
So, but there are some positions, and cornerback is one of them, that you can't even afford to lose like a rookie. You know, like losing. We're talking about a 3rd-round rookie.
Yep.
That's a potential huge loss for the Vikings because they're so thin and inexperienced at that position.
And then towards the end of practice too, it might have been right before Caleb Evans got dinged. Did you see there was Willis threw a pass into the end zone. Andrew Booth Jr. picked it off, which was great. Yeah. Like, okay, good play.
Nice work.
He then proceeded to get up and throw the ball at the Tennessee players, not the player in front. He threw it like if there had been a bench, he threw it at their bench.
Yeah, like, it's very chippy, very testy.
I laughed because it was funny to watch. But if you're Brian Flores or Kevin O'Connell, like that is exactly what you can't do, dude. Like you are being looked at to make smart plays. You're a 2nd-round pick. You made a nice play. Keep your composure. That's as stupid as it gets. So my guess is that scored Andrew Booth Jr. as many demerits as kudos for his decision to throw a football at a bench.
Okay, so there's a lot of evidence here mounting. So we have a football being thrown at somebody. We have here from Purple Insider, Titans defensive tackle, is it Tyre Tart, threw a soft punch at a Viking and got escorted out of practice. I didn't see this happen with my own 2 eyes, but I don't know how much more evidence you guys need of skirmishes, of fights to finally give in to my write that down.
You got it. It was just, I would just say the evidence that you brought at the end of yesterday's show wouldn't have been number A on your evidence reel that you should bring in.
I had a sneaky feeling too when this prediction was made, and it's been confirmed now. The next time, the verbiage has to be, it can't be skirmish. It's going to have to be fight.
Yes.
Okay.
Like we should have cracked down on that, because skirmish is so. What's the word?
But you know what a skirmish? You know it when you see it. You know it when you see it. It's a skirmish.
But we all define it differently. We all can define it differently. Like you might think a skirmish is a soft punch. Declan might think it's actual physical.
It's a skirmish. It's a skirmish.
And, you know. Anyway, you get the
episode
point.
Would end with like Larry getting swept up in a skirmish, and then the police officer coming over and be like, "Did you start the skirmish, sir? It wasn't a skirmish. It wasn't a skirmish."
We never should have let you get away with that verbiage, but we did, and you have the point.
I used my credentialed access today to just walk around the sidelines whispering to guys, "Hey, did you hear what 58 said about you? Did you hear what Justin Jefferson said about you? Your mom wears army boots.
You know what a skirmish is. Just make it a skirmish.
Go start something." I'll give you this on a positive note here. I guess you and I were observing in a couple of the drills Justin Jefferson's wizardry. You know, he has a long way to go before he can be as talented as George Pickens, obviously.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe he's taking some steps in the right direction here. I would say, just observing Justin Jefferson again today, two things stand out. He's just always operating on a different level than the defenses he faces. You know, there can be, you know, on any number of occasions today, ball is snapped, there's pressure, whatever. Kirk, like there's a crowd maybe 10 yards off the line of scrimmage defensively, and like boom, appearing over the middle with golden hands, Justin Jefferson just gets separation and makes a catch. But the thing that really stood out, you know, he made a comment to Chris Carter when Carter was at practice like 3 weeks ago, and Carter tweeted about it. He said, you know, Jefferson is adding things to his game. Look out, he's going to be even scarier, whatever the tweet was, right? And I really think he has spent time working on contorting his body in tight quarters. So up against the sideline, back of the end zone, like the barrier. He's making catches that don't feel like they should result in him landing inbounds or like even catching the football. So I don't even know how to explain it other than he's like matrixing his way through traffic sometimes between like the pylon and like two defenders and still catching passes and getting 2 feet down. Maybe even better than he was before. So that's my biggest Justin Jefferson observation after watching. This is like my 4th practice watching him now.
He was in one of the plays that you're talking about. I think he was around the goal line, and Kirk threw a really, really nice pass. So credit on the throw. But he was in double coverage. I think it was a safety and a corner, and he literally contorted his body at what I would consider to be putting it at a 90-degree angle to Kirk with his hands at 75 degrees, caught the ball, and avoided the hits completely.
Yep.
Like these guys weren't trying to tackle him, but they would have just crunched him naturally. And he somehow contorted himself to basically then it's incredible to watch. But he's been doing this all camp, like going up and practicing a catch in a red zone drill in the corner of the end zone and coming down at like the 2-yard line and rolling, stop, drop, and roll. But he's not on fire. He's about to score a touchdown. So yeah, and today he made a couple more that I don't know how you do it, but it looks like he took some type of ballet classes. Like he's doing stuff. He's doing stuff we haven't seen before, just as far as the ability to make catches that they're not just good receiver catches. They're like, how did you do that with your body catches? I agree completely.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to explain. I guess if you've kind of seen him at practice, maybe you can kind of just envision it for yourself out there. But he's going to be dealing with a lot of like double and even triple like bracket coverage. At times there's 3 defensive backs in the area. He's going to have to make catches more and more in tight quarters, and it feels like he knows that and he's worked on that. So it's kind of crazy to think that, I don't know that he's going to put up better numbers, but it's kind of crazy to think that he can get better. All right, back to Judd.
Okay, in the ones versus one drill, they did a 2-minute yesterday, and we talked about this. Cousins got picked on a pass he tried to force into the sideline. Mullins got picked on a tip throw. So the ones versus the ones today started at the, in this case, what would have been the Vikings 45-yard line with a minute left. in the game. This time it went very, very well and was capped off by, again, Cousins to Jefferson, followed by a 2-point conversion, Cousins to Osborne. So, like, if you're looking for progress from day 1 to day 2, there was definitely progress made. The first team offense looked much improved. I think Phil can attest too. We did see the use in the various team drills of more 12 personnel. Like, they are definitely going to do different things here. But I think it's worth noting that after Kirk being picked off fairly early in the 2-minute drill yesterday, the Vikings not only moved it down the field, but capped it off with what was a touchdown to Jefferson. And I would say that was definitely a movement in the right direction after what I'm sure O'Connell was not pleased with yesterday.
Yeah. How would you characterize the offensive line's performance in some of these, like especially the 2-minute compared to yesterday? It looked to me like the Titans definitely had, was it 58 for the Titans? Let me pull up, I got a roster right here.
That's not just a roster. That's a depth chart for Saturday as well.
Look at this here.
You got 2 deeps. You got 3 deeps.
I saw Harold Landry III. He's an edge rusher for the Titans. He came on a couple, like, I don't know if it was like, I couldn't see the beginning of the play, but at the end of each of these plays, he came unabated around what would be Oli Udoh and eventually Brian O'Neill's side on like a twist or something. I think he would have had a couple sacks, but it looked like the interior of the offensive line held up a little bit better today, both with the 1s and the 2s than maybe people were explaining or describing yesterday.
There was one team series well before the one that I just talked about, though, where Bradbury got pushed into Kirk. Bradbury actually hit Kirk. Kirk's got a red jersey, don't hit me on, and he accidentally got hit by his own center, who just got backed up and pushed in. I'm not going to feel comfortable about the interior of this line of pass protection until I see in-game improvement. And we're not going to, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to play again. I don't think that there's going to be a case with joint practices this week, which are now done against the Titans, and next week against Cardinals. I don't think we're going to see anyone play. Like, I don't think we're going to see Kirk play. I'm guessing the offensive line won't play. But, Bradbury was improved, but he's far from a finished product. The guards certainly make me nervous. So it's very hard to judge this, but if I was concerned, my concern is going to remain until we see like 3 regular season games, especially pass protection, where those guys can hold their own.
Okay, I'm going to go back to wide receivers here for a minute. A couple interesting observations. You can help me decide what they mean. The first thing is, I am firmly on the Brandon Powell bandwagon. He had one of the best catches I saw all day today. I don't know if you saw this one. They were working on the near field, kind of where we were standing off, like by the white tents over there. And he was running an out route away from us. And I feel like the play started on I think this was like a far hash sort of throw, like a throw across the hashes by Nick Mullins, a lot of patty cake today, hanging onto the ball too long, but whatever, he's a backup quarterback. But this was one where he makes a decisive throw across the field. It was a little windy, so the ball kind of got caught up in the jet stream. And Powell makes this diving catch, drags the feet, and like it was right on the Titans sideline, and all the Titans are like, no. And this is the best part about the joint practices. You got the officials came in, both of them agreeing. Brandon Powell, he also just finds ways. He's a great little safety blanket. He finds ways to get open over the middle of the field, and this doesn't even count like the punt and kick return value that he's actually going to bring. So I'm firmly with you. Brandon Powell looks like, I'm not going to say a sure bet, but looks like he's going to make the team. However, with Jordan Addison out today, when they were running 11 personnel, so 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, 1 tight end with the first team offense, the 3rd wide receiver was Jalen Reagor. Has that been the case with Jordan Addison out? I guess it's odd to me that if maybe they're keeping both Jalen Reagor and Brandon Powell, I guess. It's very possible. For now. My guess is that because Naylor's been out for so long, I think Reagor and Powell have those last 2 spots probably. And but I'm with you. I just think Powell's versatility, and especially look, if Nwangwu's not going to come back, and it's my professional opinion that Dwayne McBride has no business on this roster, I would start the season with 1 return guy, Brandon Powell on punts and kicks. And
Rager, I think, does tantalize with talent, but the problem is when he screws up, which I think a lot of times is mental. I think he runs wrong routes, which we saw last year. He cuts routes off. And I mean, O'Connell has definitely gotten on him at times, but I guess unless there's really a surprise, and a guy like Tristan Jackson's had a good camp, I'll give him that. But unless there's a big surprise, I'm thinking that there's no way at this point that Naylor starts the season on the 53 unless he comes back like really soon, and it might be too late. So, yeah, I think that you're going to have 4 and 5 being Powell and Rager. And Powell, as a versatile guy, actually gives you the ability probably to keep someone else as well. Because, again, like Wangwu's roster spot certainly shouldn't be safe. I mean, he's not going to vie for he was supposed to, but he's not going to vie for a running back job now, as far as I can tell. And, if he can't do that and he's not going to return kicks, that roster spot gets pretty dicey to me.
Yeah. Hey, a couple shout outs here before we get to some more observations and camp notes from the joint practice today. And Declan has a random Viking of the week we can do on this live stream. So, we have launched a new wing of the scorenorth.com/shop. So we got the merchandise wing, which we've got the Before I Die hoodies and shirts and whatever else. We have a collectibles wing now, thanks to our friends over at Universal Sports Auctions. And there's new stuff coming in every single week. Like there's a Jordan Addison autographed jersey. There's Justin Jefferson, Harrison Smith autographed jerseys. And it looks like they may have restocked the Justin Jefferson spotlight catch against the Bills, an autographed framed photo of Justin Jefferson reaching up into the football heavens.
Wouldn't that look great right there?
Look at this one just added. So scorenorth.com/shop, click on collectibles, a purple People Eaters black and white signed and professionally framed photo.
Right there.
Judd likes the Slapshot jersey. Yeah.
All these would look good in my room. Guys, I mean, Christmas is coming. My birthday's around the corner. If one of you wants to take the Purple People Eaters and Jefferson, I'd be very appreciative.
Yeah, if you out there, loyal Purple Daily audience member, would like to go to this website, scorenorth.com/shop, click on collectibles, and buy something for Judd, you can use the promo code SCORE to save 10% on all products site-wide. You can enter the promo code Judd. It'll do nothing, but show your support for Judd, I guess.
That Jefferson, and if I'm not mistaken, that's a fantastic shot of not just the catch by JJ, but Austin Schlottman's gut. I think if you pull that up, it's like a great.
It's framed up between his legs.
Yes, it's like the Schlottman gut is just right there.
It's hilarious. Scorenorth.com/shop. Also, a shout out to our friends over at Power Lodge, celebrating 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. 25 days of deals to celebrate their 25 years in business. And we're working on, we'd like to create some Purple Daily content from a Bennington pontoon sometime before the end of summer here, Judd. So we got our people talking to their people to see if we can make it happen.
I love it.
Yeah. And by content, I mean you will jump and do belly flops into the lake.
No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We should actually do for a Throttle Therapy show, a Purple Daily Purple Positivity show, and go on to Bennington and just make it absolutely the most positive takes that we can come up with as Throttle Therapy.
It's a great idea.
Just decompress.
We'll make it happen. You can check out their whole selection at powerlodge.com and also millermarine.com. What else do you have in your...
I'm reading the comments. They're just... I love these people. They're great. I love them.
What else do you have in your notebook before we get to a random Viking of the week?
No, let's see here. Let me page through. I've seen questions about Ivan Pace Jr. in coverage because we actually talked about that on our first Purple Daily today. And full disclosure, I watched the offense because I watched defense yesterday. So I did not watch a lot of the defense today. I watched a ton yesterday. I thought I would focus on the other side of the football. So on Pace, I didn't see a lot there. He will play, I'm guessing, extensively on Saturday, which should help things. But that was a takeaway that we've been asked a lot about, and I did not watch that. And I think
I'll admit, I was over. I wanted to watch the offense as well, and so yeah, I guess we failed in our planning. One of us probably could have watched the defense. This probably should have been me today, but we will get to see Pace in a preseason game here. I watched a little bit from afar, and I think, and I was having Booney point out too. I said, "All right, I don't know what I'm looking at here compared to you. You tell me what you're looking at." And he just kept pointing to the defensive fronts. Like we would look over and watch the first team defense, and there'd be only one down lineman with a hand in the grass, and then 5 or 6 other guys roaming around near the line of scrimmage.
It's
like
not
that.
a 3-4. You know? That's why it's not a 3-4. It's a hybrid. It's because they are going to, and we also saw the pass rush package, which had Wanham, Hunter, and Davenport inside.
So okay, let's talk.
Tackle.
So that was out there again today too. And I don't know if they were running like third down situations or what. I'm sure there's situations they would like third and pass or 2-minute where they would put the edge rushers out there, put Wanham and maybe a Patrick Jones or whoever. But I was asking Booney, I said, hey, can you put an eye on Marcus Davenport today if you can, because I've seen a few practices. He looks like he's flashing everywhere. You can obviously see the talent and what the Vikings saw in him. And as I asked him that, he said, well, look right now. They got him lined up inside on a guard on this play. So they had Danielle Hunter outside, and then they had DJ Wanham on the other side. And then Davenport was lined up over a guard. And he said the reason you do that is because, you know, when you get an elite edge rusher on an edge against a tackle, the tackles are more nimble. There's a reason why they're more valuable. They're able to sometimes get out in space and cover those guys one-on-one. Guards aren't equipped to do that. Oftentimes they have shorter arms. They're not as athletic. You're kind of trying to hide guards sometimes, right? So if you can put a guy like Marcus Davenport or Danielle Hunter on a guard and then with your spacing, make the guard have to do tackle things. That's right. Make the guard have to do tackle things.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
It's too difficult.
Right. But this and this is why, though, the guard play has become so important now, because more teams are doing exactly that. And it's why, still, in my opinion, the best game Mike Zimmer ever coached, 2019 against the Saints. Why? Because Griffin and Hunter all of a sudden moved inside, and you're like, oh, my God. And the Saints interior was like, we can't. What are we supposed to do with this? And Drew Brees' day was a nightmare. But this is why I love the ability to move guys inside. And now the problem there is you've got to have a team on a passing down, because if you do that on a rundown, Marcus Davenport's going to be like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah. Or like if you could run a draw play or something.
That's
if you're feeling
situational.
Frisky. Yeah.
But I love the idea. One more thing from me. So at some point in time, they asked us early in practice to stop shooting. So, which is why, Dex, I didn't send you a ton more stuff. Yeah. And I was like, what are they doing? Because they were doing like individual drills and quarterbacks throwing passes to receivers. I mean, nothing that looked proprietary at all until 2 or 3 times quarterback Kirk Cousins went out on routes himself and caught a few passes, including a touchdown pass, after which he, right in front of the big crowd, and it was a big crowd today, did the gritty.
I love it.
Now, this was not a team drill, so I'm not predicting a thing, but coaches love to get creative. And I think the fact that Cousins was actually going to catch a few passes probably put the tentacles up of, we don't want Matt LaFleur seeing this. We don't want Don Coryell seeing this.
But of course, there's 4,000 people in the stand. Maybe not that many today that are all taking film of practice too.
Of course.
But
Of course, but they can't control the fans. But the point is, he did a gritty. It was half-hearted.
I think I've seen him do some pretty good. There's actually a GIF on Twitter or X that you can find where he's like leading a gritty, if I'm not mistaken. This from a couple
was really
years
bad.
ago.
That was in the Lions game in like the garbage time at the end of 2021. That was like
poor gritty.
That was a pretty bad gritty.
He's had a couple years to work on it, though. I would expect at some point Kirk O'Chains to come out.
And he has great feet.
And I love the trickery. Don't get me wrong. Wide receiver pass. I love it. But let's not be doing passes to Kirk Cousins.
Wow.
No
Belichick
Kirk Cousins
didn't want
wide.
Brady in a Super Bowl here.
It failed, though, right?
Yeah,
no, I know,
that
but
where
really
Brady was diving
But if you're going to do that, like if Brady is going to, at that advanced age, go out for a pass, I'm not dismissing Kirk Cousins. I'm not suggesting it's a good idea. I agree with Declan. But I'm just saying, don't close the book on any trickery.
I just worry about like a safety closing in, because like the slow motion of Kirk catching a pass, and then if he's not quite to the goal line yet, and a safety is closing in like a missile or something,
And
I could just see his body blowing up into dust.
Yes.
Didn't they try it during the Giants playoff game and it failed miserably? Like Justin Jefferson was going to do a pass, and then there was a negative play.
Was that the Giants game?
Yeah.
Kirk threw like a cross, or did he hand up? No. He threw a lateral, and Jefferson tried to throw back, and I think Kirk caught it and gained like no yards.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this is a little bit more in the realm. This was probably in the realm of a very early sort of simple version of the Philly special.
Yeah, I can.
Like
it's like the last thing you would ever expect, and so if I wouldn't do it in the open field, but if it could just be like for a touchdown, and then he doesn't have to run and get smoked.
That's what that. Yes,
and
that's
then
what
the play is just over. Okay.
Yeah,
and if he whatever, like if he drops it, it'll go out the back of the end zone. It doesn't like tip off his hand, and there's a linebacker waiting. Oh
yeah,
the
Philly special I can get on board with if it's a real pass play. Like, why are you doing? Like, if Justin Jefferson is going to throw a pass, which we all agree he should, it should be a downfield shot. Yep. Dude's got a great arm. Mm-hmm. He can throw it a long ways. He can sling the football. Don't be throwing these lateral or cross-field passes, which, by the way, can just get picked off and housed. Like, I would love to work with the Vikings on the special trick plays.
Yeah, maybe you can be their trick play consultant. Maybe there's or trick play coordinator.
KOC and I, except when I ask about how Kirk's throwing the ball.
I think he respects a good fastball. Good fastball question. No. So
the Patriots. Good point.
No. So, okay, those are the notes here from day 2 of joint practice. They're going to have an off day tomorrow, and then they'll play the preseason game. Like Jaron Hall, I don't think he threw a pass in the team stuff today, unless I missed a drive. But he'll get a full half, if not more, in the game on Saturday. And then they've got 2 more next week hosting the Cardinals for joint practices. And then again, they should be, I do think there is some, like playing in an actual preseason game where there's tackling and stuff, like that is a level up. But there's so much value in these joint practices and just running play after play after play and 2-minute drill and all this stuff that they're doing. But I do wonder if like not tackling with like most of the first team offense and defense are just going to go into week 1 having not been hit or actually tackled yet, right? And that's
how it works now.
Yeah,
which is why the first month can be so rough to watch as a fan.
Yeah, no one remembers how to tackle. It's been 8 months. Mm-hmm. So we have a random Viking of the week here. It's Declan's turn to throw out the clues, and it's presented by our friends at Fratelloni's, getting you ready for tailgating season. So my goodness, these Weber grills at Fratelloni's, you can see them on the YouTube channel here right now, are just all the rage. It is Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden, the largest Weber dealer in the Twin Cities and in the state of Minnesota. They also have all sorts of other grills as well. But think about the things you could put on here for tailgating, right? Wings and steak and kebabs, burgers, hot dogs, whatever you want. Go to scorenorth.com and enter the keyword Weber to find out more. Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden, more than 20 metro locations here to help you kick off tailgating season with a brand new Weber grill. All right. So what do we do about the comment section here? Are Judd and I allowed to look at the comment section?
No, I think
this is like the first time we've done a live.
No, we've done this once before. Let's just go to people in the room, and so we can't see the comments.
Okay.
That's what we did last time.
Okay. You guys can still throw out guesses.
Yeah, but we just can't see them now.
Yeah, turn them off, and then I'll monitor, and I will.
And they'll start to mock us.
Yeah.
Like if we don't get this quick, we're going to get made fun of really badly, and I appreciate that. I love you people.
And if, by the way, if you are hanging out with us here on a Thirsty Thursday, you're just live with us here, maybe you cut out of work early, whatever it is, if you could click the like button and the subscribe button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel while you're sipping on your Surly Before I Die lager, you can help us grow this channel. It was fun meeting a couple more people today out and about. If you do see one of us at practice, feel free to say hi and give us a little fist pound and talk about the offense or whatever.
Talk to some folks out there.
Mm-hmm.
Guy with his wife and two kids who said he had stopped you right before that. Was it Cody?
Cody, yeah, my guy.
Cody, yeah,
You
good
remember
guy.
the name?
Nice job, dude. That's the first time
you.
I've
Remember the
ever
name?
heard
Thank
you
you.
remember a name
Thank
like
you.
that.
His kids were great. The family was having fun. Joint practice. Excited for football. That's a good family. Seemed very nice.
Yes, a good football family.
Okay, so
Boom was asking where you were. I thought you guys like said hi
I
to
waved.
each other.
I waved to him.
Oh, did he wave back?
Yeah, he saw me. I
Because a
waved.
little while later,
I
he's
was
like, "Hey, is
watching-
Judd here today?"
He saw me. I waved to him, and he gave me that goofy, weird Boone smirk, like, and waved back. I thought he knew who I was. I was
It's been a
taking
while.
notes.
It's been a while.
I was watching team drills. I mean, I love him. Boone's a great guy, but nothing's going to come between me and those team drills.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And I think he knew that. He knew that.
Human interaction's fine, but when you're watching team, that's where it's at.
Football.
People come and go. Football season, constant.
Yeah. All right, Declan's going to throw out the clues here. So since we revamped with the new era of Random Viking of the Week, where all three of us are competing against each other, losers out, Judd has a 4-3-2 lead on me and Declan. All time, Judd has a 56-28-11 lead on Declan and myself. The last few Random Vikings are Asher Allen, Jim McMahon, Mike Tomlin, Robert Tate, Erasmus James, and Alex Boone. So Declan's turn to throw out the clues here. We get up to 3 incorrect guesses each. If we hit the third one, the other person wins automatically. So there's some strategy involved here. How aggressive you want to be. So, all right, Declan, the floor is yours.
All right, first clue. This Random Viking of the Week was a first-team All-Pro.
Wow.
He was Player of the Week 4 times in his NFL career. This Random Viking of the Week was a first-round draft pick.
I'm going to
Here we
guess
go. Oh,
Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams is incorrect.
I was going to get sniped there by Judd.
This Random Viking of the Week scored 3 touchdowns in his career.
How tricky is Declan going to get here? Oh,
He wasn't a first-round pick of the Vikings. I have a feeling this guy made his bones elsewhere.
This Random Viking of the Week is a 2-time Pro Bowler.
3 touchdowns, so he's a defensive player.
Okay.
He's a good player.
I'm just going to, I don't think that there's no way. Was this a first round pick? Keith Millard. Keith Millard
is incorrect.
Okay.
Couple buzzers for both boys here.
That would take Declan right back to Steve Lombardozzi's
See, that's
days.
what I thought he was. I thought he was going to try and go back and and then mock you for not getting the guy from the '80s. Although, you know what though, I feel like you guys have such a rivalry going back with the random Minnesota athlete here too. That you're both trying to screw each other to make each other look bad. That I feel like Declan's teeing this up for me, and I need to be open-minded to that.
You know what? Every
So he can
day
mock you.
is a new day. We move on. I have
Yes, it
nothing.
is.
I have no animosity towards anyone on this show.
Okay, Xavier Woods.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, Kofi
All right.
Kingston.
All right, Kofi. I'd love to see both of you and Mackie do the New Day dance. That'd be fantastic.
First round pick.
This
grab my
Random Viking of the Week played 12 playoff games, including a Super Bowl.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of playoff games.
No, that's not who I'm trying to.
Are people in the comments making fun of us yet? Has anyone in the comments gotten it yet that you've seen?
No one has got it yet. A lot of people thinking it's Dante Culpepper. Spoiler alert, it's not.
Oh, 3 touchdowns. It's a defensive player.
Some people saying Eric Kendricks. We already used Eric Kendricks. It is not Eric Kendricks, and he was not a first-round pick either.
Second round pick. Yeah, you're
The
right.
year that this random Viking of the week played in a Super Bowl was his All-Pro season.
Oh,
He was a Pro Bowler and All-Pro. It was the only time he was an All-Pro in his career, by the way.
yeah, that's hard to get.
First or second team.
All pros are really hard to get. I've been a Pro Bowler, but I've never made All Pro.
It just declines after so many media rounds in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Just gets
All Pro season.
This random Viking of the week had 2 coaches with the Vikings.
Are you going to give them or no?
Not yet.
Can you give us one of them?
Oh,
Brad Childress.
Okay. Interesting. Oh man.
so Childress.
This is Judd's wheelhouse now.
So Tyson Childress or Childress and Frazier?
Or maybe not. Maybe it was. Maybe there was a gap. Maybe he had 2 stints with the Vikings.
I feel like this guy made his bones elsewhere as a really good player and
I
got
like that
signed.
term. Made his
Signed here.
bones elsewhere.
He has money, he came Jing, got real popular elsewhere. 3 touchdowns in his career.
According to Pro Football Reference, he is cousins with Jabbar Gaffney. And I looked at his Instagram this morning. I'm gonna double check this thing. He is on Instagram.
That
He doesn't have many followers. I remember that. He only has 6,000 followers on Instagram. And his bio is, I'm the only guy I know that was top 3 at his position on every level, high school, college, and pro.
What do you mean top? He was top 3 in his position.
That's what it says.
So he loves himself.
Loves him.
Unfortunately, that's 98.8% of all athletes.
Was it Dwight Smith?
Dwight Smith is incorrect. I will say
I don't think
there
he's a first
are,
round pick.
without
I know.
anyone looking,
So.
one guy has nailed, 2 guys have nailed it in the comment section. Now it's starting to come through. Our listeners have this down. Listeners, you probably now know who this is. Or watchers, I should say. Watchers.
Well, the listeners might too. They just aren't. This is live for the viewers, It's,
This guy didn't play in a Super Bowl.
A couple more piling in with it.
Corner.
Damn it. We're
It's
just
got to
idiots.
be.
Our whole audience is just screaming at it with the right answer right now.
He wore the following numbers in the
Oh.
NFL.
God, this is gonna give it.
Linebacker.
26, 29, 21.
Oh my God.
This is great.
Brad Childress, 26, 28. I have one guess left, or Judd wins. So I gotta be careful.
No, that wouldn't be that guy.
This random Viking of the week was a Florida Gator, born in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. Also returned some kicks. I will say not with the Vikings, though. None of those kicks came with the Vikings, but he does have kick returns on his resume on Pro Football Reference.
20. Okay, so I'm sorry, 26, 29, 21.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm struggling. We might need to get to like an initial or something.
So hold on a second.
Okay, is everyone now just typing the name in the comment section?
A lot of them are now.
Okay,
Oh, 'cause
why are you so concerned about what the public thinks
Well,
of
it's
us?
just
okay?
embarrassing. We're like, we literally
Well,
talk
we've
about the
never-
Vikings 365 days a year, and
Actually,
we've been
there's-
given about
know what?
14 clues.
You know what? This
There's
is
a-
performance anxiety, okay? We're the ones who are here. In fact, you know what? This would be a perfect time for an ED endorsement for me because performance anxiety is getting to us.
I will say there's 2 sides of that coin, Phil Mackey, because a lot of people say, wow, Declan's just nailing this Quizmaster here. He's doing a really good job.
You're doing a
keeping
good
you guys
job.
off the
Throwing
toes.
us off
Yeah,
the
yeah.
side
No,
here.
you're doing a good job.
It is a
You're
good
doing
job.
a very good job. I feel like your last 2 or 3 have been really good.
The last coach that this random Viking of the week played for was Hugh Jackson. The last head coach he played for.
Oh my God! So he's Vikings. He's
Bengals.
no, maybe.
Cleveland.
Did
I
Hugh Jackson
forgot.
coach the Raiders too?
Yes, got fired quickly. Deserved it.
Could have been like Raiders or could have been Browns.
3 touchdowns.
I'm screwing away.
No, I can't do this one. I can't do
Last
this one.
week on Random Viking of the Week, Phil pulled the fast one on me because I was going to use the one he used, and then I ended up using the other name that was mentioned that kind of spawned that Random Viking of the Week.
Wait, you were gonna go with Asher Allen?
I was, and then I had to pivot. I always have a few banked, like in the memory in the
Yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm. Think last week his name was brought up last week.
Oh my God, we brought up a bunch of cornerback names. I can't even remember what we were talking about last week when we brought up Asher Allen.
It's not.
If I just start naming names, can I?
No.
It's not Josh
Yeah.
Robinson because he wasn't a first team All Pro.
And a first round pick.
Yeah,
I feel like if I give the coaches, Judd's gonna get it.
that's
But here
well.
we
I mean,
go.
we're kind of at that point here. What if
Hugh
you gave
Jackson,
us one?
What?
Okay.
Hugh Jackson,
Yep.
Les Frazier, Brad Childress, Rex Ryan, Andy
Antoine.
Reid.
No. I didn't say that. I said Antoine, but that's not right. Andy Reid was the last one.
was the last one I named. He was not his last coach.
Okay.
I went from current back. So it's last year's and then to his rookie year.
That's
Hugh Jackson, Les Frazier, Brad Childress, Rex Ryan, Andy Reid.
God, am I drunk?
I'm done. Like I'm bewildered.
I am. Hold on a
stumped.
second.
I'm going through all of the defensive backfield of like the Brad Childress
Okay.
era.
Cedric,
Let's just do it together. Dwight Smith, Darren Sharper, Antoine Winfield,
Cedric Griffin.
Cedric Griffin, Asher Allen.
1 season with the Vikings, 13 games, 2 starts.
Was it Lito Shepard?
Ding, 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 Lito Shepard. Ding,
God,
ding,
he
ding.
sucked here.
Lito Shepard.
I remember his name being brought up, but congratulations, Judd. I could have sat here much like Declan with Steve Lombardozzi for an hour and a half and never would have guessed Lito Shepard. Wow, nice job.
I totally forgot he was that successful.
He was really good with
He was
Philadelphia.
a first team All Pro. God,
in 2004. Yeah,
I
he
blocked
was the
it all
first
out,
team
man.
All-Pro.
oh my God.
Lito
Good job,
Shepard.
Declan. That was
Nice work, man. That was all right.
that's a great one. That's a great rando.
Holy cow! All right, well, it's back to me next week for next week's random. You guys, I feel like it's getting vicious right now in these random Vikings and random. We're cutting deep on each other here.
Well, we're
I might
sort
might have to pull out something really aggressive. I might have to go back to like the '60s and just see
the
how
random
long.
Viking is getting tough because we have now such a buildup of
Good
guys
ball.
from like the 2000s.
Yeah,
There's not a lot. Like unless you went to deep backups, there's not a lot left, is
I
there?
don't know. Well, I mean, we've done like 80 random Vikings or 90.
Yeah.
We've done like 90 of them.
That's a lot of.
That's like one training camp roster.
Well, if you want to go, well, you're right. If you want to go to the 70s, 80s, you're fine. If you want, but
We will have to start going back to
We will.
1981 just to see.
at the very least, we should probably hit the 90s harder.
We should study up decks.
I feel like the 70s might be a reach, but I feel like the 90s are going to have to be
Yeah.
explored
So
here.
wow, that was nice
Lito
job.
Shepard. Yeah, that was
Nice
good.
job,
though,
both you
Declan.
guys. Hey, we are up to just under $13,000 raised for our Power of Sports Courage Kenny fundraiser auction this week. So thank you all. We've surpassed what we had sort of set out. So now let's keep going to 15,000. There's some amazing items up for bid and just to buy. You can buy it now. Twins executive balcony tickets to hang out with the Score North Twin Show. You can, as far as Vikings items go right now, the 2 Vikings related things up for bids are a Monday Night Football experience with some great lower bowl tickets and I believe dinner at Red Rabbit as well. Vikings 49ers on that Monday night. and a private Purple Daily dinner gathering with the three of us. So dinner for 4 of you and 3 of us at Red Rabbit. That is up for auction right now. All of it at scorenorth.com/bid, scorenorth.com/bid. So thank you. Thank you all for helping us raise a bunch of money for
awesome. Thank you.
For a great cause. Yep. We'll be back. We've got I don't know what order we're gonna do the live stream tomorrow. Maybe it's some notes, maybe it's feedback. We might be back to doing Feedback Friday with an off day at practice here tomorrow. So get your feedback questions in and comments, the YouTube comment section, the Score North app. And thanks for hanging out with us here on this Purple Daily live stream. Daily Vikings entertainment. Just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.